That's right, Bev. This is hugely significant for the LGBTQ community here in Thailand. This has been a long and hard fight to get here. I mean, the vote in the Senate today was not entirely unexpected, but they've spent years campaigning to get to this moment, which is interesting because I think Thailand has this reputation of being very welcoming, very open to the LGBTQ community. It's a big mecca for LGBTQ tourists, but I think a lot of tourists who come here, including from Australia, probably weren't even aware that the local community didn't have access to same-sex marriage. The bill will now go to the King for royal assent, and then 120 days after it's published in the Royal Gazette, it'll come into force. So we're expecting to see the first weddings probably by about October, and thankfully it wasn't entirely overshadowed by the rest of the political drama that's been happening here in Thailand today.
Yes, indeed, because earlier today, the former Prime Minister, Thaksin Shinawatra, he faced court over lèse-majesté charges. He was granted bail, but how is this going to play out, do you think?
That's right. Former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra today presented to the criminal court where he was formally indicted with those lèse-majesté charges over an interview that he gave back in 2015. He applied for and was granted bail, which wasn't entirely surprising, although a lot of people who are charged with this law are not granted bail. So it does suggest that the special treatment that he's enjoyed since returning to Thailand is continuing. The case will now be adjourned until August, so he will probably have to lie low, I'd say, between now and then. This may be seen as some kind of warning shot from the Conservative establishment that he should lay low and stay out of the public spotlight, which he's failed to do since returning from self-exile last year.
Yeah. Lauren, there are still another couple of legal challenges that could disrupt Thai politics. Take us through some of those.
That's right. It's been an incredible day. There's been 3 of these politically charged court cases that are hugely significant for the future of Thai politics and have really thrust it into yet another crisis, one of which could actually see the downfall of Prime Minister Seta Thavisin. So he is charged over a cabinet appointment that he made. That case was deferred until next month, but if he loses, he could lose his job, which would be hugely significant here. But that will now drag on and drag out this political uncertainty. The other case, which is also massively consequential, is involving the opposition Move Forward party, which was, as you may remember, hugely successful at last year's general election. They'd campaigned on a platform of reforming the royal defamation laws. But that early this year was deemed to be unconstitutional. The Constitutional Court found that it was tantamount to trying to overthrow the constitutional monarchy with the King as head of state. So now there is this effort to dissolve the party and ban its leaders. And I have to say, from the conversations that I've been having with analysts and commentators, it's not looking that good for the Move Forward party. And there is a graveyard of political parties that have gone in eerily similar ways in Thailand, including Move Forward's predecessor, the Future Forward Party, which was dissolved in a very similar way by the Constitutional Court just 4 years ago. That led to these massive street-wide protests, many of whom their leaders were charged and subsequently jailed. Unclear if we'll see similar things if Move Forward is dissolved, and I would probably guess that we're not likely to see such mass protests, partly because I think the new generation of activists and protest leaders probably see all of those other protesters who were jailed, and some of whom are still languishing in jail, and don't want to throw away their own youths in courts and in prisons. So the political uncertainty here is continuing. I spoke to one political commentator today who put it well. He said Thai politics is kind of like jazz music. You improvise, and often you don't know until the last minute what they're going to play next. So anyone's guess, Bev.
Yeah, indeed. Who's going to be catching that last seat? Great to talk, Lauren. Thank you so much.
Thank you.